Welcome. I'm not sure what's going on right now.
It says we're live. Let's go with it. Let's just do this. You know what? There's always glitches in the universe, so we might as well go from here.
That's right.
Oh, goodness.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Today, we are here with a special guest, another co-author in the Change Book series. So we are so excited today to be on here with Amanda and Miss Nicole. And we are going to have an amazing time just learning about Amanda, what got her to be a part of the Change Book series, and just share a little bit about her life. So Amanda, go ahead and share with us, what made you decide to be a part of the book in the series?
Well, I was really inspired and moved by the other authors that were already making a commitment to, sharing their stories with other entrepreneurs and coaches and just human beings. And I believe that's the best way to connect with people is through that, is through your story and sharing your own vulnerabilities, because that's what makes us stronger, is through our vulnerability. Because it is not about being our superwoman every day, right? Because we're a group of women right here in this group, but it's about showing the sides of yourself that are a little sticky or a little muddy, and that is what makes you human. And I truly believe that the more we connect and the more we share that, the better off our world's going to be.
I so agree with you. When we are transparent and vulnerable, because social media makes everything look amazing, right? Everybody has an amazing life, right? But when we really get into moments to be able to, have a connection and talk to one another and find out, who are you and what do you do, and what are the things that you've been through, and it's the challenges and it's the being vulnerable that connects you with people, because it's hard to connect with people when they look like they're perfect and amazing and nothing goes wrong in their life, right? But when we, are vulnerable and share those struggles and challenges that we've had, then we're able to connect with one another, and then we just create that deeper connection with each other. So, share with us a little bit about, a little bit of your journey of, where you came from and how you got to here.
Yeah. So I have always believed from the very beginning of adulthood that our children are going to make the world a better place to live. And so I, dedicated 22 years of my life to public schools, and I was a school administrator and I loved it. And I connected with families and with kids. And then I got to a space and a place in my life where, I was really serving so much and giving so much every day, and raising two of my own children on my own, that I was really like, just the quintessential, like burning the wick at both ends, right? And I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating right. I was doing all the work to support everyone else, but I was like suffering. And so it landed me in the hospital. I suffered severe burnout. And after I got through, that really challenging time, I had to ask myself that question of, what do you do? Like, what's next, Amanda? Mm-hmm. And it went back to the same belief system that I always had, which was, I believe the world will be a better place when our children are supported. And I had to shift out of just supporting children. That was kind of my shift. And I recognized that I had to start serving our parents. Because when our parents are happy, healthy, and whole, then the ripple effect, right? It reaches our kids. And that's where the greatest transformation is. And so I still do believe today that our children are going to save us and change the world for us. So that is why I do what I do every day as a parenting coach. And I founded the Confident Parent Collective, and I work, to connect parents with strategies and holistic supports through workshops and through coaching and through my 6-month Confident Parenting Academy, and to really just inspire them to know that you don't have to parent the same way you've always been parenting, right? You are invited and you are allowed to do things in a way that feels aligned and it feels good.
That's an amazing statement, Amanda, because I've never really thought of it that way. And I think it's because we've been so conditioned for so many years to do it a certain way. But
Right.
as someone who's been in the school system, I'm curious, from when you were in there to now, do you see a big difference in like public school?
Do I see a difference in public schools and the way they serve kids? Is that your question?
Yeah, the way they teach, how it just seems like they're so very different from when my kids went to school. What are you seeing as far as how is public school affecting the children now?
I believe that the people who show up every day in schools have a heart, and it's within their DNA to serve in the capacity in which they serve. I also believe that the systems that are in place do not allow the individuals who show up every day to truly, truly connect with families. And it is no one's fault. There are leaders out there who are trying their hardest to change and make it a better place. But I believe the true transformation is with connecting our parents to resources, connecting our parents to what the signs of a stressed out teenager look like, what the signs of mental health look like, how to have a conversation with your kid at dinner that doesn't sound like you're totally invading their privacy, right? So it's about I think it's about taking the onus off schools and the belief system that schools are responsible for everything with regards to our kids, and really recognizing that schools are responsible for education, right? That is it. That is what they are funded for. And the moment that we all start to embrace that and recognize our role as parents in this world to be partners with our kids, to be curious with our kids, to have fun with our kids, rather than to oversee and implement logistics and be stressed out, and to model for our own children what it looks like to be stressed out, right? But to really step away from that. So those are some of my deeper beliefs. I believe I answered your question, but I'm not quite sure if I did.
No, absolutely. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. And as a coach, what would you say is the first step towards doing all those things, to bonding with your children and teaching them that, right from wrong, or yes or no? How would you go about that?
For me, I believe every parent is unique, right? And every parenting journey is filled with its own unique story. I also believe the first part of connecting, like truly connecting with your kids, is about first releasing all the expectations that you have on yourself and that others have on you, right? So I know that I spent years of my parenting journey, right? Even as someone who served in the schools and who had the latest and the greatest strategies, right? I was judged constantly. I was judged constantly because I'm a single mom, right? Because I oftentimes had to put my job before my kids, because I had to do things that for me were the best. It was the best that I could do with what I was given, right? And so the minute a parent begins to release the expectations about what their in-laws want to see, about what their own parents want to see, about what the soccer team wants to see, right? Then that's like the first step in really truly creating that meaningful, authentic connection with your kid. And then really opening up the door to having fun, right? Like parenting is fun. It is not a chore. It is not a task. Granted, there are some days that you just want to pull your hair out, and trust me, I have those days too, right? But it's about reconnecting our parents to the parts of parenting that make it pleasurable.
What a great statement, Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you focus on the parents to make them, because I think you hit such a huge thing of, we worry about what everybody else thinks about, because this is the way it is, this is the way you're supposed to do, this is the way you're supposed to do it, right? And so I love that you take such a different approach, and you go to the parents and help them create wholeness. And if we start with the parents, because then it's not the kid's job to change the parent, it's the parent's job to be the leader in the family.
That's
and
right.
so I love how you connect the parents, and then to just like that to just be able to release those expectations and to have fun. And so I have 3 older children that are in their 20s, and then I have a 7-year-old, and it's completely night and day difference. My older kids are like, we got the crazy mom, right? And he is the good mom. And I'm like, well, it's just, I've learned a lot, right?
Yeah.
And personal development has been a huge key of that. And so, I just love the approach that you take, that you really focus with the parents to give them tools and strategies, and give them that release and that permission that it's okay, that they don't have to do it the way that it's supposed to be. Yeah, the note that you said too, I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah, there is no supposed to be. It is all about how we love and how we show up every day, right? It's truly like, there is no handbook on parenting, because it's a unique experience for everyone, right? And so you can't, yes, you can read all the books, and trust me, I've read just about every book. But it's about that. It's about going within. And really honoring who you are on the inside, and who it is that you want your children to see, and really revisiting those reminders. And so that, so I recognize that. I know, and there's so much to say about like our older kids and our younger kids, right? Like they get like the experience of us being so nervous and being, like having to walk through it the first time, and inevitably having to walk through it like with very little support sometimes, right? That parents are expected to do it all, right? And then we judge and criticize parents when they fall, or they slip, or they mess up, right? And we criticize them for being human, rather than supporting them in that very human experience, and bringing them back to love, and reminding them that, returning back to that parenting experience, and that feeling of joy, like that's where the wholeness is, right? And yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you are going to change the world, because if we pour into our kids, and they are the future generation, so we have to teach them right? Like we have to teach them how to be joyful and to be whole. And I know what I was going to say. I love that you give the resources to parents of like, this is what you need to look for, like for the mental health, or, if there's something going on, to give them resources and tools to help them identify those things. And so do you do that like on the one-to-ones, or like, how does your coaching look?
Yeah. So I'll be the first coach to let you know if I don't feel like I can support you. I do believe deeply that, oftentimes if there's some really like high level things happening in the home, while I might be able to support you in that, oftentimes a therapist may need to be involved to support with like a diagnosis, or maybe there's some medical pieces going on, right? That a coach alone works really beautifully when the parents have kind of already uncovered those pieces, right? But so there's that. I also believe deeply that coaching and therapy work together, right? So the therapist is really going to help that mom and that dad to kind of like dive into the trauma and the triggers, right? A coach is going to see that trauma and triggers and roll out a plan to move you forward and motivate you to move you forward and call you out when you're not, right? And when you're revisiting those old patterns. So I show up and I serve my people through Voxer. I coach through Voxer so that I can coach around the world, right? And I'm literally like in your back pocket. It's a walkie-talkie app, and that's the best part of it, is that I'm a parent too. And oftentimes sitting down for like that scheduled weekly video conference feels really stressful for parents. Whereas if they want to send me a voice memo at 6:30 before their kids wake up, and then again, after that really hard moment, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be there to hold the space, but also to support them in finding the best way to move both themselves and their kids forward. That is really the purpose. And then, I have a really dynamite coaching academy. It's called the Confident Parent Academy. And it is my favorite thing to do is to work with parents, a collective group of parents through, a 6-month period of time where we can really dig into what's really happening and then also learn from others through their own journeys. So that's another really beautiful way to commit yourself with a group of parents who are also doing the same work.
Yeah, there's something about community, right? And if you all have the same, you're in alignment with one another, and if you have the parents that are just trying to figure life out, and it's all about community. So I love community.
Yeah, it is. I know community is what again, it just reconnects us to why we do what we do every day.
Absolutely. And I'm curious because my youngest is 21 now, and she graduated a couple years ago. But something I saw on her journey with growing up is parents took ownership of their children. Yes. As if you're going to do this, you're going to go to this college, you're going to play this sport, you're going to, they had it all laid out for them, not understanding that each child is individualized. So I'm wondering, are you seeing less of that now that you're coaching, or are you coaching to help people understand that you don't own your children?
Oh, I love that. And that was something that I fell into, right? And I will be the first to admit that as a parent, it's so, because of all the expectations that are around us, right? And because of some of those subconscious stories that we carry, like that, as our own teen and our own children, like if we return back to our child selves wanting to excel in this area, or we did excel in this area, and therefore we want to feel those feelings again, but we want to feel them through our child, right? And oftentimes it's a really normal thing for parents to desire that because it feels good, right? Like we're drawn to what feels good in this world. And so, one of the pieces that I've had to really reconnect myself with is my children are going to show up and do the things in this world that they love. And that's what I want them to do. And so, my son years ago, started gymnastics, and he became very, very good at it, very talented. And it was not something I had ever done as a child or a teenager. And I mean, the most I knew about gymnastics was through like the Olympics and watching the best of the best. And it was so fun, right? And then all of a sudden, my son created this goal that he was going to be the best ever. And he was going to go to the Olympics, and he was, going to, and I held on to that dream with him, right? Until one day he woke up and he was like, that's not my dream anymore, right? But that was the dream that I had connected with, that I was holding, right? But it was no longer his dream. And so the hardest part for me was, not necessarily letting him quit the team and do those things that felt the most aligned with him, but but really like releasing that dream that, you know, I wasn't going to be a parent of a renowned gymnast, right? And as you know, cliche or like, you know, edgy as that sounds, right? Those are real parenting moments. And so I had to really kind of connect with my son and say, hey, I support you. I love you. And if you want to do something completely different, I support you. But if you want to get back to gymnastics, I support you too. And it's about recognizing that our children are going to like go through these trials and these errors, and we have to go through it with them, right? And that when they see us allow, right, like allow them to move through those things without criticism and without judgment, right? Then that is when they are becoming one step closer to the best versions of themselves, right? Because we're giving them permission to live the lives that they are most aligned with, right? We're giving them permission as adults to say, I'm going to do this, right? Not because it pleases my mom and dad, not because it's going to please my spouse, not because it's going to make me look good at work, right? I'm doing it because it's what feels best for me. And when we follow those passions and we do what's best because it feels aligned, like that's where we truly shine. And I honestly, that's what I want my kids to feel. And so to kind of go back to your story, Nicole, you know, I do think that it's really easy and it's normal, right, for parents to want to have a chapter in the story, right?
Sure.
It's normal because that's, I don't know, that's how I grew up, right? And there are moments, and my parents are still very, very proud of me and want me to revisit parts of my life that I don't really care about anymore, right? But, and that's just a part of that. That's that heart of parenting that we have to just constantly reconnect to, right? We are connecting to the whole child, not just the child who excels in this area or who we want to see go to this school, the child who is vulnerable, the child who is empathetic, the child who, you know, who rises after they fall, you know, the child who supports someone walking across the street, the child who goes back to school even after, you know, something happened, right? That is the child we are supporting. We're supporting the wholeness. And when our kids feel that,
Yeah.
really magical things happen.
And that's a mic drop moment. You well stated. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that you just focus so much on the emotional health, their mind, and just how they respond, giving them tools to respond rather than react. And so that's really what we as adults need, right? And so, you know, as we can share that with our children, that's just amazing, having emotionally intelligent children rather than reactive children. So
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Amanda, we're coming to a close. So go ahead and share with us, you know, what is next for you? What is next with being in this amazing collaboration? I've met both you and Nicole through there. It's so fascinating to meet all these amazing people from all over the country and world. So tell us, what is next for you with the book and your coaching and just everything?
You know what is next? I will continue to show up every day to support families and to support parents. That is inevitably what gets me out of bed every single morning. And I truly believe that you know, being part of this incredible Change Book collective is an opportunity to really share, again, to kind of go back full circle, my vulnerability with people, that parenting is vulnerable. Parenting is messy. Parenting is not about being a superhuman every day. And it's not about being perfect. It's about really allowing imperfection to be a part of your day-to-day existence. And that is truly, what I am so excited to continue to do every day. And I know that in January, every 6 months, I launch a new cohort for the Confident Parent Collective Academy. And, if you're interested in that, just send me a quick DM. We'll get you in. And if you need just a month, I just need a month of support. I do month to month coaching. I don't do day-to-day, friends. I do month to month, because I believe that that's the baseline of where we all begin, right? That is the baseline of support. So truly, I'm grateful, and I just look forward to continuing to support you however you show up every day.
Beautiful.
And how can people get a hold of you?
Yes. You can go to my website at confidentparentcollective.com. You can also find me on social media platforms at Amanda Irtz, IRTZ. And I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. DM is a great way to get hold of me, or again, through my website, confidentparentcollective.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for taking the time to just be with us today. It's always amazing to be in community and just hear each other's story and how you are making an impact and how you are just making your impact. So I love it. And we will see you all again next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm Nicole Harvick, and this is my co-host,
Rachel Best. And we look forward to seeing you again next time.